Well, hello, 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 hello. Try again. Well, hello, boys and girls. Hello, 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 hello. Um, I was talking about some existential horror in my last episode. Well, I've got something similar going on right now, and it's kind of hard to explain. And I'm going to do a bit of a monologue. Um, it's The thing is, I'm old. I'm old. I'm not young. I'm not young. Not like you young whippersnappers out there. I'm 50 fucking 8. I'm. I was born 11 years after the most horrific war in history. In the mid 1960s, the Ministry of Defence in England sent around a bunch of dudes. I don't remember the details, for fuck's sake, it's 50 years ago. It's 50 years ago. Um, that showed what had happened in the concentration camps from the British, who weren't the first to discover the concentration camps. The Russians were. They went back and filmed it all after they'd shot all the guards in a fit of somewhat justifiable anger. And I have images. I have film in my head of what I was shown when it only happened 11 years before I was born. Uh, it's hard to grasp nowadays. I perhaps shouldn't have a sword in my hand. I probably should have a torch, because it's hard to describe. And I watched a movie, which was an assemblage of footage from those days, just a decade or so before I was born. And it was kind of harrowing, and I saw some of the images that I'd seen when the MOD came around and said, never fucking again. Never again. And it's curious because night will fall, and perhaps it will. 2016, when the next crash occurs, perhaps, whatever. It's not nice images to have in your head. And I watched some of the film, and I watched some of the soldiers who had been the first into Bergen-Belsen and Dachau, and the Russians that had broken into Auschwitz-Birkenau, and Allency and the others. And I remembered 50 years ago, and saw film from some of the people who had been and survived the camps, and they're remembering 70 years ago. 70. It's hard to grasp nowadays. I had a conversation a long time ago. Well, I say a long time ago, it's like few years ago, but things move fast in the internet world. Um, and I'm sorry I'm clearing my throat a lot. It's leftovers of this chest infection. You got to think. I was born on the 11th anniversary of the dropping of the atomic bomb on Nagasaki, thus ending, truly ending World War Two. I don't give two hoots about the fact that supposedly the war didn't end until the 1980s or whatever, legally speaking. That was the end of World War Two. So it's I find it somewhat difficult to talk about this subject because I'm a bit on the old side, but and I grew up in a militarized society. um, I could tell you stories. You have no fucking idea what it was like when I was a kid. You've got iPhones, you've got all this techno shizzle whizzle, and I fucking love it. I really do. I just adore all this technology. I mean, the fact that I'm opening my heart here out on YouTube is proof positive. It's proof positive that I fucking love this technology. But we can't let it lose track of the humanity that we all have. And I want you to think back. I know. I don't know. You may be like 10 or 12, or you're in your 20s or in your 30s or whatever. I just want you to think back. Just 10 years. Just 10 years. Just 10 years. It's not a huge leap. I want you to think back, and I want you to think 10 years back. You were maybe in school, or you were maybe an adult, you got your first job, or you just met your sweetheart, or whatever. And the sun was rising in the background. Look at that. You couldn't fucking plan it, could you? You couldn't. It's just. Anyway. And there was a couple who'd met and had a child. They had a child, and the thing about it was that in that 10 years, the 10 years prior to that, they were dancing in the street because a fucking atomic bomb had killed thousands and thousands of people on a country on the other side of the planet. Think about that. And I grew up fucking terrified of nuclear war. I went to so many schools I can't even begin to describe, but suffice it to say, I turned out okay. I'm not a psychopath. I suppose I'm a bit of a psychopath. I can't believe this. Anyway, doesn't matter. So that was when I was born. 58 years ago, in a world that was fucking terrified of nuclear war. I read the newspapers in 1963, and there was the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then there was, we're all going to be wiped out by this, or we're all going to be wiped out by that. And I'm not saying we're not going to be wiped out because people are still defying climate change. Seriously, anthropogenic climate change? How can you not? Beggars belief. So, yeah. Just a bit of a throwing stuff out there. So, yeah, I just finished watching The Internet's Own Boy, Aaron Schwartz. And it was kind of weird because I've been involved in the internet since 1977. What? You say? 1977? There was no internet in 1977. Well, there kind of was. It was called UUCP. Well, it was being built, and there were a bunch of people involved. And by another name, I was one of those people. And yeah. So I still have archived emails from Tim Berners-Lee and Eric and a whole bunch of other people. And it's not like I'm saying they're famous. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. Because I'm not famous and I don't fucking give a shit. Seriously, I don't care. I'm kind of annoyed that my code is running on every fucking computer on the planet and no one fucking knows. But that's not what this is about. It's just kind of I'm not happy. I'm tired of this. I'm just tired. Okay. So, here's the torch. I'm passing it on. You don't know who the fuck I am, but I put stuff onto the internet. Fucking tons of it. And you are just picking up the torch and moving on. So here's the torch. Here's the torch. Keep going. You don't have to worry about me. I'm old. And you don't care. So I kind of want to say fuck you, but I'm not. Seriously. Go you. Take it. Take this torch. Take it. Move it out. Make it work. Occupy. Seriously, do something good with this and don't get tied up with all that fucking app crap and make people's lives better. That's why we did what we did, and I'm just one of the poor unlucky suckers that, well, no, I wasn't a sucker. I loved it, and it's kind of over for me, but do something with it. Make it worth something, not just frickin' apps. Make a difference. Climate change, people. Do something. Change. Read a fucking book. We didn't have the internet. We had to read the fucking manual. Do the same. Learn other stuff. Make this world work and make it a better place. Do it now.